How you doing, everybody? Vasu Vaddiparty. This is the Make the Money and Run podcast for Saturday, April 24th, 2021. Little pregame edition for the weekend, a little shortened version of our regular podcast, which you can get Mondays, Thursdays, and Fridays, 4:15 Eastern, 1:15 Pacific, right here on Facebook Live, YouTube channel, my YouTube channel, Stables Media YouTube channel, everybody's Facebook page live. We also have a Make the Money and Run Facebook page live. If you miss any of the live broadcasts, you can download and subscribe anywhere you get your podcasts: Apple, Spotify, Google, SoundCloud, iHeart, et cetera, et cetera. Anywhere you get your podcasts, you can download and subscribe. All right, let's take a look at some of the early games going on. We're going to give some picks out a little bit today. Like I said, it's the weekend version, but I thought there's so much stuff going on between the Major League Baseball weekend with some of the big series that are going on, as well as the NBA. Great games last night in the NBA and some really good ones today and tomorrow in terms of the NBA. And, of course, the NHL starting to wind down as well, too. The NHL has an early game. The Pittsburgh Penguins about a 270 favorite over the New Jersey Devils. I know we don't talk a lot about hockey here, but 270 for Pittsburgh. I know New Jersey's not playing well. The total 6 over is favored. So if you like a lot of goals, you might see a lot of goals. And then the other early game in hockey is the Colorado Avalanche, the best goal differential in the NHL. They're playing the St. Louis Blues again. They beat them 4-2 in St. Louis. Hockey's starting to play. They play the back-to-back games against the same teams, so it's hard to beat a team the second time. $1.60 favorite for the Colorado Avalanche. All right, let's get to Major League Baseball here a little bit. Last night, very interesting night last night. Two big series in the series between the Dodgers and the Padres. The Padres get a 6-1 win over LA. They've taken the first two games from the Dodgers in this series after losing 2 of 3 last weekend. It's pretty interesting to see how the Padres have come out and played. They've been more aggressive than they were last weekend. They took it to Walker Buehler. They beat them 3-2 on Thursday. But then yesterday, a 6-1 victory. Clayton Kershaw gave up 2 home runs to Fernando Tatis Jr. Tatis Jr., by the way, the 2 home runs that he hit yesterday in Dodger Stadium, the anniversary of his dad, Fernando Tatis Sr., hit 2 grand slams in 1 inning back in 1997, 1998. I want to say 98. 2 grand slams in the same inning by Fernando Tatis Jr.'s father, Fernando Tatis, off Chan-Ho Park. The fact that Chan-Ho Park was in the game still to face him a second time, to face the bases loaded in a second situation. Talk about a big inning. 8 runs for Tatis Sr. that day, but Fernando Tatis moves the Padres along with great pitching last night from Yu Darvish to 3 games back of the Dodgers in first place. Continuing on with the National League West, how about those San Francisco Giants? 13-7. I'm sorry. Dodgers are 14-6 now. The San Francisco Giants are 13-7. They're 1 game back of the Dodgers, 2 games ahead of the Padres. Everybody thought it was going to be Dodgers, Padres, Dodgers, Padres, Dodgers, Padres. The American League, the Yankees would be there, but it's not Dodgers, Padres. The Giants are right there, and I will, as a Dodgers fan, I will tell everybody, and I live in the Bay Area, so I have a lot of friends who are Giants fans, a lot of friends who are San Francisco Giants fans all over the country, all over the world. But the reality is their starting pitching is great. Their bullpen has been really good, really, really good, surprisingly good, with names that people haven't heard of. And everybody was worried that they were going to be a 500 team. If they pitch like this, and the biggest thing to pitching right now for the San Francisco Giants is their defense. They've only committed 6 errors in 21 games. 6 errors in 21 games. That's unbelievable, unheard of. And it's just going to be interesting to see how they go. They've got 2 more games with the Miami Marlins. The 2 unearned runs came in the 9th inning last night. It was 5-1. By the way, if you had the under 7 in the Giants last night and Flores makes the error, and then the home run by Aguilar comes up and it's 5-3, that is not a good sign for the under 7 batters right there. In fact, it was very lucky to get to the over. Alex Wood was great for 7 innings. He gave up 1 hit. He only hit a leadoff home run to Jazz Chisholm Jr. What a great name, Jazz Chisholm Jr. By the way, he's going to be a superstar for the Miami Marlins, so look out for him down the road. But the Miami Marlins are playing okay. They came into this series hoping to make some hay, but Giants pitching has shut them down a little bit. Dodgers Padres will continue their series in about 45 minutes. The Boston Red Sox will host the Seattle Mariners. There's 5 games that's going to take place before 4 o'clock Eastern. The Mariners and Red Sox, the Tigers and Royals, the Reds and Cardinals, the Brewers and Cubs, And then let me see. I think there's one more game. Yeah, an interleague game with the Minnesota Twins and the Pittsburgh Pirates. Jay Happ threw a one-hitter last night through 8 innings. He had a no-hitter going through 7, and the Pirates finally broke that up. And then Jay Happ finished the 8th inning, and then Taylor Rogers came in and picked up the save in a 2-0 victory over Pittsburgh. Some of the other games on: Texas Rangers, Chicago White Sox. The Oakland A's have won 12 in a row. They've got Chris Bassett, their de facto ace right now, going on the mound against the Orioles and Wade LeBlanc at 7 o'clock Eastern. Toronto and Tampa. Steven Matz is 4-0 for the Toronto Blue Jays. He used to be a former New York Met. I think a lot of people remember him with the Mets. The fact is that he's having a great year. They beat the Tampa Bay Rays. Tyler Glasnow, everybody remembers him from the World Series, but a 5-3 victory for Toronto. A great pitching match. When I say great, I mean great. Shane Bieber, the American League Cy Young Award winner from 2020, averaging about 14 strikeouts for 9 innings, is a $1.07 underdog, and that's because of the Indians and the way they hit. They have not hit very well. The Yankees have taken the first 2 games of the series. They have their ace, Garrett Cole, going. He's a 117 favorite. The total is only, and I say only, 6.5. But Shane Bieber right there at plus 107 is very hard not to take a Cy Young Award winner at those prices. That game's at 6 o'clock. Matthew Boyd, the only thing that's good right now about the Detroit Tigers is Matthew Boyd. He's going to be on trade talks again every year. Every year around the trade deadline, he is around trade talks. Miguel Cabrera is hurt right now. Tigers got off to a good start. Kansas City Royals are off to a great start. They're in first place in the American League Central. It's kind of a weaker division right now. White Sox have been hurt, and I just still have a feeling it's a White Sox division there. Talk about the Red Sox and Mariners. Nathan Eovaldi has been very good for the Boston Red Sox. He's a $1.95 favorite, 9 over against Chris Flexen and the Seattle Mariners. The Mariners won on Thursday night in extra innings, 7 runs on 3 hits they got. And then they almost made a comeback last night. Kyle Seager hit a 3-run home run in the 9th off Matt Barnes, but the Red Sox held on for a 6-5 victory. Other National League games, how about the Philadelphia Phillies bullpen? 3rd game this year, they've already blown a lead in late innings. Aaron Nola, the best pitcher the Phillies have, he's a $1.75 favorite with 10 as the total. Aaron Nola is a good bet to bet on. The problem is the Philadelphia bullpen. Casey Freelove, my co-host on the Make the Money and Run podcast, the normal podcast, we started talking about the first 5 innings. Yes, you can bet on the first 5 innings, and that's how these lines are made up based on starting pitching. So Aaron Nola at 175. Let me see what he is in the first 5 innings. I got a feeling he's probably a little bit more. Yeah. Excuse me, minus 185 with a total of 5 against Antonio Senzatella. Rockies get a walk-off win last night. The Cincinnati Reds, St. Louis Cardinals. Cincinnati has lost 5 in a row now after their loss 5-4 last night to the Cardinals. Wade Miley, John Gant, even odds right now, both minus 1. I'm sorry, that's the first 5 innings. Minus 116 for John Gant, plus 106 for Wade Miley, but they are on a 5-game losing streak, 8 over the total. How about the Chicago Cubs? They got off to a horrendous start this year. But Adbert Azole will start for the Cubs today after getting 15 runs on board yesterday. Freddie Peralta has been one of the surprises for the Brewers. Have you heard about the Brewers pitching staff? They're still in first place. By the way, all 5 teams in the National League Central are all separated by 2.5 games. So remember, last year they had 4 wild cards, 4 teams in the playoffs, the division winner and 3 wild cards. Freddie Peralta, minus 103, which means Azole is minus 107. The total 7.5. Unlike yesterday, which was 9.5, wind blowing out. So it seems to me on a Saturday morning at 11:20 West Coast time, 1:20 Central time, that the wind blowing in Chicago. So be careful what you do there with the total. Kind of get all the weather reports. Charlie O loves to do the weather on the podcast in terms of the game situations with baseball. So Azole favorite, a slight favorite, 107. How about those Cubs though? 15 runs yesterday, 14 runs against the Mets. They walk off the Mets at the bottom of the 9th, 4-3 in another game. And then they've won 4 in a row right now, going for 5 against the Brewers. Brewers bullpen saved a little bit. Position player threw in the 7th and 8th inning for the Brewers yesterday in that 15-2 game. New York Mets, Washington Nationals. That game will be on Fox Sports 1, 4 o'clock Eastern. Marcus Stroman, who's been really good for the New York Mets. Again, a little bullpen problem. Edwin Diaz, Trevor May, kind of struggling a little bit. 177 at home. Did you see Jacob deGrom? I mean, Jacob deGrom, if he's on this pace, Jacob deGrom is going to be a future Hall of Famer. 15 strikeouts, a 4-hit shutout. He went the distance. he would have never gone the distance under the Mickey Callaway regime with the New York Mets. Jacob deGrom was outstanding last night. The best pitcher in baseball. Did not get enough run support the last 2 years. Was 12-10 with an ERA around 2.10. How does that happen? No run support. Bullpen giving up leads. Unfathomable to me how good Jacob deGrom is. And other pitchers probably had a case for the Cy Young, but Jacob deGrom definitely deserved it. He's a two-time Cy Young Award winner. He won last year as well, too. But what a performance by Jacob deGrom last night. And what's going on with Madison Bumgarner? I say that he was overused with the Giants, and I know they won 3 championships in 5 years, but he signed with the Arizona Diamondbacks. You never see Madison Bumgarner nearly a $2 underdog against the Atlanta Braves. Drew Smyly, a former Giant as well, at 190 with a total at 9. But Madison Bumgarner has given up a lot of home runs this year in the number of innings that he's had. The total 9. They did go over that total, the total last night of over 8.5 with the Braves and Diamondbacks. You just got to think they're awesome. They're awesome right now. The Braves under 500, but you still got to think the NL East is still the Braves division, even with the Mets and Phillies hovering around 500, tied for first. Phillies now a game under 500. The Mets a game over 500. So that's going to do for baseball. A couple other baseball games in the American League. We talked about Oakland, Baltimore. Texas and Chicago. Chicago is hovering around 500. Dallas Keuchel's been pretty good so far, about $1.60 favorite. 8 under the total. Kyle Gibson, the ace of the Rangers staff. The Rangers cannot hit right now, and that's been a big problem. And in that Chicago weather, it's going to be tough to go after the Keuchel changeup. It's going to be tough to get some runs scored regarding the baseball scenario that they're going to have in Chicago today. So 2 games in Chicago, 1 in the afternoon on the north side, 1 on the south side. All right, we'll give you picks at the end, but let me go back to the NBA. How about the NBA last night? The Warriors took out the Denver Nuggets for the second time in 3 weeks. Denver was favored by 2.5 points. I bought it up to 3. I really thought that was a mismanaged favored game. I thought the Warriors should have been favored last night. Curry came out and did Curry-like things again, scored a ton of points. They got the victory. They won by 14. Denver really struggling without Jamal Murray. They've also lost their backup point guard, Monte Morris. But Nikola Jokic, everybody's MVP, does everything for that team. And so it's going to be hard for them. I don't know how far they're going to get in the playoffs right now. They're in the 4th seed. Big game tonight in Dallas. The Lakers lost to the Mavericks the other night on TNT, 115-110. The Lakers were a 3-point underdog. Here they're playing again against Dallas on ABC tonight. They're a 2.5-point underdog, 217.5 the total. The game went over last time. Anthony Davis made his first appearance of the season, not first appearance of the season, first appearance in weeks regarding his injury. So he came back. He ended up going 2 of 10, only scored 5 points. They lost by 5 points. You got to think Anthony Davis will come back and play well. Will play well this time around. And that 2.5, I got a feeling the Lakers. It's hard to beat a team 2 times in a row, back to back. And I got a feeling the Lakers are going to win tonight. Let's look at some of the other NBA games tonight. Chicago Bulls are 5-point underdogs to Miami. How about Miami losing at Atlanta? No Trae Young, and the Heat get drubbed by the Atlanta Hawks yesterday. The Hawks in 6th place. The hottest team in basketball right now, surprisingly, the New York Knicks. They're on ESPN in a half an hour. They play the Toronto Raptors for being in 4th place, and Toronto in 11th place, 1 game back of those Washington Wizards who are also red hot. It's a pick-up game, 214 the total. But the Knicks have played well. They've won 6 in a row. You got to take the Knicks, but boy, their offense is slow. They don't shoot the ball very well. Sometimes they give up a bunch of rebounds. Kyle Lowry leads that Toronto team. You can tell that they're playing hard to get back into the playoffs because all these teams that are just looking on the outside in and the 7 to 10 play-in tournament, 7 seed to the 10 seed play-in tournament in the NBA, they're playing these regular season games, these last 10 regular season games, like it's a playoff format. So the Knicks will pick up. And then at 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 here on the West Coast, ESPN will also carry another back-to-back scenario. The Milwaukee Bucks will host the Philadelphia 76ers. That line at 7.5, which is where it was on Thursday, 228 the total. That total flew over. It ended up about 241, I think. And here's the reason I remember it ended up. It was a 7-point victory for the Bucks. Yours truly, Vasu Vaddiparty, Make the Money and Run podcast, had the Milwaukee Bucks laying 7.5 on Thursday night. Like I told you yesterday on our podcast, we do bet on these games too, and we feel the pain out there from last-second losses, 9th inning blown saves, but we also feel the victories that go with it. Those 9th inning victories, the back-to-back Typical example, the Oakland A's getting help from the Twins on Wednesday with 3 unearned runs in the 10th inning to come back and walk off the Twins. And that kept their winning streak going. They're at 12 right now as they're in Baltimore tonight. But anyway, the Milwaukee Bucks had a 21-point lead, 23-point lead, and all of a sudden, here come the 76ers. Here come the 76ers. All of a sudden, here come the 76ers. You get my drift? Sure enough, they blow a 20-point lead. They end up winning by 7. They do not cover. I do not get to cash out on the ticket. So I'll be interested to see what my thoughts are with regards to that. As a 7.5-point game, again, the same scenario. I'd have to go with the over because Philadelphia can score. Joel Embiid is still my MVP. I know he's missed a lot of games, and I know everybody's talking about Nikola Jokic, but Embiid has missed a lot of games, and that's a strike against him. But to me, Joel Embiid right now, they're in first in the Eastern Conference, tied with Brooklyn. Brooklyn won yesterday, actually, so Philadelphia's a half game back officially going into today. Brooklyn does not play. But Joel Embiid, to me, is the MVP of that team. Without him, they're nothing. And with him, he can shoot from the outside. He's got good footwork. He's got good range inside. He's got power. He can rebound, block shots. He's probably one of the better defensive players. In fact, is one of the better defensive players in the NBA. So that's my MVP pick. I know everybody's going to say Steph Curry. I know everybody's going to say Jokic. And I know everybody's – and one other guy that I wanted to mention, the Phoenix Suns, Chris Paul. They were nothing without him. They were good in the bubble last year, but they played horribly last year. You add Chris Paul to this team, what leadership he has. They're second in the Western Conference in the NBA. I think 2 games back of Utah for the number 1 spot. But Chris Paul, without Chris Paul, there's no way they'd be 2 games back of the Utah Jazz in the Western Conference. All right, that's going to do it for the NBA. A couple of NHL things to mention. We said the Penguins and Devils are playing. Let me see. Anything else in the NBA here? Might as well go through it. San Antonio in 10th in the Western Conference. They've got the Pelicans, a 3-point underdog there. Talked about the Mavericks and Lakers. Minnesota and Utah. Utah's 12-point favorite over Minnesota. Minnesota can score, but they can't play defense. So it's hard to say that somebody's going to be better than 12 points against Minnesota because they've got guys that can score on that team between Anthony Edwards. Of course, Karl Anthony Towns has been there. And this guy, Jared Vanderbilt, he can shoot the ball from the outside. He's when he was in college, I forgot where he went to college. I want to say Arkansas, but he didn't go to Vanderbilt, so we'll make sure we keep that clear. But it's interesting to me to see how some of the development of these younger players go. And I know it's a 3-point game, and I'm having get off my lawn moments. It seems like teams aren't playing basketball the way it used to be passing the ball around. It's either a layup or a 3-point shot, similar to baseball. It's either a walk, a strikeout, or a home run. All right, let's get to picks today. As I said, I'm going to have some picks. Might update the Instagram and Facebook post for later picks. I like the Boston Red Sox and Seattle Mariners under 9. It's 9 with Eovaldi and Flexen. Both pitchers have pitched well this year. That game will start in about 35 minutes. Matthew Boyd, like I said, the only thing good about the Detroit Tigers, he's plus 105 at home, but I just can't do it. I just can't do it on that. The other early games, the St. Louis Cardinals, they play the Cincinnati Reds well. The Reds haven't hit right now. 5-game losing streak. St. Louis Cardinals hit left-handed pitching. They explode on left-handed pitching. I know they've struggled to start the year, but John Gant, a 116 favorite, a good pick right there. The 7.5 on the Brewers Cubs is very tempting based on the fact they got 17 runs last night against the Brewers. I got to hold off on that though as well. Kevin Gausman, $1.44 favorite over Miami. The way the Giants are playing right now, you got to go with the Giants. And then Blake Snell, everybody's favorite pitcher from the Tampa Bay Rays, if you're a Dodgers fan, got pulled after 4 2/3. He's a $1.35 underdog against Trevor Bauer and the Dodgers. The Padres did beat him, actually beat the bullpen last week. The only crack in the armor right now for the Dodgers is that bullpen. And if they can fix that bullpen, as a Dodgers fan, I'll take every 14 out of 20 for the rest of the year. That should set me up for about 115 wins as a Dodgers fan. In the American League, I really like Shane Bieber, but it's hard to go against the Yankees right now. It seems like they're swinging the bat. But Shane Bieber averages 15 strikeouts, nearly 15 strikeouts for 9 innings. So I think I'll stay away from that game as well. The Oakland A's have won 12 in a row. When are they going to lose? When are they going to lose? I'm not one of those due to lose guys, but so I'm going to go with the Oakland A's as well too. And then I like the White Sox tonight as well. Dallas Keuchel, very crafty veteran, throws about 90 miles, does not hit the fat part of the bat. And he's right there. He's right there when it's all said and done. And then one other game, the interleague game, the Minnesota Twins and the Pittsburgh Pirates. Minnesota's played horrible defense, leads to a lot of unearned runs. Pittsburgh Pirates, Trevor Cahill gives up a few runs here and there. He's not the same Trevor Cahill he was with the Oakland A's years ago. I'm going to go with the over 8 in that game. In the NBA, I am going to go with the over on the 76ers and Bucks, over 228. I just think they're going to score a lot. Milwaukee scores 120 points pretty routinely at home. San Antonio getting 3 at New Orleans. That's a tough one. I'm going to pass on that one. But I am going to take the Lakers. I'm going to buy it from 2.5 to 3. Anthony Davis is not going to go 2 for 10 and score 5 points. They lost by 5 the other night with Anthony Davis's lack of production. I think you'll get the production back tonight. Lakers win in Dallas tonight on national TV. And then the Utah Jazz minus 12 over Minnesota. Utah plays great defense. They score 110, 120 points. They just have to stop Minnesota from scoring because Minnesota can shoot the lights out. They don't stop anybody. So those are the picks that I have today. Anything in the NHL. I do want to take Colorado, but I'm going to pass on the hockey today. One game of note, Minnesota Wild are playing really well. They're in San Jose tonight, about $1.25 favorite. 5.5 is the over. They won 4-2 last night at the LA Kings. The LA Kings are an underdog at home to the Coyotes. And then Ottawa and Vancouver are back-to-back. Ottawa beat Vancouver the other night 3-0 as about $1.40 underdog. So you might want to look at Ottawa tonight. That's at 10 o'clock Eastern. And then those Vegas Knights, second in the NHL in goal differential at plus 53. The Colorado Avalanche beat St. Louis the other night, as I said. So their goal differential is plus 55. But Vegas has the more points in the Western Division. I think they call it the Honda West Division. Every division is sponsored. They're all playing internally amongst each other. The top 4 teams will go to the playoffs, and then they'll set it up and reseed as the rounds go further away. So a lot of things to talk about. You got my picks. If you missed any of the live broadcast, you can download it, get the picks right now. Some of these picks are going to go off in about a half an hour. So it's great to talk to you. Join us on Monday. Casey Freelove and I will have Russell Baxter, Pro Football Guru. We'll talk NFL draft as it's draft week this week. Everybody's losing their damn mind over this number 3 pick of the San Francisco 49ers. Not just in the Bay Area, but all across the NFL landscape. It'll be interesting to see because what the Jaguars and the Jets do affect what the 49ers do and will affect what the Atlanta Falcons do at number 5. We haven't even gotten to my Chicago Bears. I don't know how low they are. I think they're at 9. But we have Andy Dalton right now, and I'm sure they're going to look at somebody in the draft. They need offensive linemen right there. And I'll be interested to see what the Philadelphia Eagles do. They have their quarterback in Jalen Hurts, and I just think they need some offensive linemen there. The Miami Dolphins have their quarterback with Tua Tagovailoa. They need wide receivers for him to throw to. Jamar Chase from LSU, a great candidate there at number 6, and then offensive linemen to protect him because he's going to have to learn how to stay in the pocket. All right, you can catch us Monday, Thursdays, and Fridays, 4:15 Eastern, 1:15 Pacific. Charlie O, Casey Freelove, and myself will have the Make the Money and Run podcast. Again, Russell Baxter on Monday, powered by Stables Media. Check out stablesmedia.com for all the shows we have as well, too, including Joe Madden, Lisa Diaz, Cammie P with Hustle and Grind every Monday, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, right here on Stables Media as well. So we'll look forward to seeing you on Monday. Casey and I will be here on Monday. We'll have Russell Baxter. We'll talk about the NFL draft, and then we'll review the baseball weekend, the NBA weekend, and preview the series from Monday to Wednesday as we have our Thursday show. All right, stay safe, everybody. Stay healthy. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the games. I'm Vasu Vaddiparty. This is the Make the Money and Run podcast weekend edition, the pregame version. Have a great afternoon. We'll see you on Monday. Take care, everybody.